maybe 50% do knowledge management well. The rest of it kind of say, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. It's just not that big a deal for us. So is that something you would agree with, based upon what you've seen too?
Yes, or that maybe it ends up being time-consuming. You have to kind of put a little thought behind it. Google, Wikipedia are people's best friends, so they end up really hitting that as opposed to hitting the knowledge base. And sometimes that's beneficial. But, yeah, I guess as a result, then it doesn't get as populated as what it could be, or maybe it becomes stale and that type of thing. So there's some pieces that we can put in play with the service core so that it remains active, and you can see which incidents maybe aren't being used, which knowledge-based articles aren't being used as much, retire those, and then get some fresh data in there.
Okay.
All right, so just a real quick slide. So that knowledge management is something that you can expose to your end users. So from their portal, they can go ahead and then search for whatever those keywords are that they're looking for. They come across the article. Hopefully that will result in them not having to enter a ticket, but if it doesn't, at least it's kind of put them on the path of being self-sufficient, i.e. look at the knowledge-based article first before you enter the ticket, because hopefully we've created some articles based on that, especially if you get a lot of tickets about a certain issue, then turn around and create that into a knowledge article so that anyone going forward will be able to hit it and then do the resolution. Okay, so let's go back to the end-user portal. So here I'm at my customer console, and you'll recall we enabled the knowledge-based browser for them. So you can, stand up whatever your categories are, but what you can allow them to do here is put in whatever their keywords are. So I'm going to put in Plantronics. If I didn't want to spell that all the way, I'm kind of hovering over here so you can see they would need to put in the asterisk. So I'll put in Plantronics, something to that effect, and then just do a quick search. And so what this is going to do is pull up all the knowledge articles that have Plantron in them. So I can see there several things. I'll pull up this one, how do I use the Plantronics IP phone. So it could be that IT has shipped out all the phones. We've got the boxes. They didn't send anyone to set them up. They're expecting me to read through all this, set it up myself, and what do? They take it out of the box, plug it up, and then it doesn't work. I need to enter a ticket. But what you can do is expose to them a couple things. So with this particular article, if I mouse over it, you can see a video training on using it. So they've set it up maybe successfully, but now they need to know how to use it. But what this is doing is, because we all know YouTube and all these other venues already have all the information how to do everything. So as opposed to me recreating the wheel, what I've done is embed that in here. So what they can see quickly, kind of go here to the top, their question, how do I use the Plantronics IP phone? Below is a video. So what I can do is click on the link, and what it's doing is taking me right into that video, and I can watch it. It's only 6 minutes. And I have my questions answered. So the point there is with the knowledge base, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and just close it. With that knowledge base, you can embed video, you can link out, or you may just want to make it text. We'll see from the administrative part. I'll create one so you can see how easy it is to do that. The other thing that you'll notice here at the bottom, you're giving them the ability to rank it. So this is how we kind of start to get away from that stale data or ones that aren't helpful. Go ahead and remove those so they don't even come up on the search. Was this knowledge article useful to you? Well, we'll go ahead and say yes. And so then what it's doing is ranking that or putting that on that knowledge article. So then when we start to run and look at our metrics, we can see which articles are helpful for our end-user community. Okay? So here we'll go ahead and close that one. We'll clear that out. If you wanted to kind of peruse through the solution category, if they wanted to do it and see, well, what all do you have in here for, let's say, telephony and then the IP phone, they can go about it that way too, and it would just, again, kind of bring down everything that's available. All right, so now let's look at it from the technician perspective, because they have to create all the articles. And so what you'll notice here is I'm going into, let's go to view. Actually, let me close down some of this incident stuff that we were looking at before, just so we get our real estate back. And then I'm going to go and look at, let's go here to our knowledge base. And what we'll have are, and again, from an administrator, we'll step back and look at this. You can create as many knowledge bases as you want and expose them to the different portals, et cetera, that you have. So very easy to customize and say who's going to get to see this article. In here, though, you can see quickly I've got 10 knowledge base articles. And if I were to go ahead and create, let's say, a new one. So here I'm pulling down the actions, and we'll do a new knowledge base article. And what we're going to say on this one, I think I have something in my clipboard. Yes. So there we have a quick look, and if we look at it, it's really just this one. And what I'm going to do is just get this video URL, another quick copy, and then that's what we're going to use for our link. So here we may say something like using that Plantronics for desk, mobile, and PC. So in other words, when they come into wherever this Plantronics is, they can use it to pick up their landline, they can attach it to their laptop or their desktop and do the WebEx that way, or their cell phone, they can attach their cell phone to it as well. So they basically can use that one device, that one phone to answer several different communications there. So my category, again, we'd say this is over into our telephony, and we'll say it's the IP phone. When do I want to enable so that people can start to see this? We're going to go ahead and say today. If I wanted to put an end date on that, for example, we're only going to use this phone for the next 2 years, and then we're going to cycle through, I could put an end date on it, so again, I don't end up with that stale data. The reason for this, we'll just say is training. Okay, and then here in the bottom, many different editing things that I can put onto or into this description field. What I'm going to do, just for this, I'm going to have it link out to, we'll put in our URL. So again, it's kind of going to the YouTube, and we'll say open this up in a new window, kind of like what happened for my end user before. And that's it. If we wanted to put some additional data down here for the description, we could do that with that business workflow that we saw just a minute ago. If I wanted to send this off for approval, I could do that as well for the demonstration I want, just so we can see it quickly on the end user portal. But again, you can tie a lot of workflow process into this if you would like. Otherwise, you can make it very simple and expose it so they can see it immediately. Okay, so here I gave everything we needed. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And then the last thing, maybe I'll let a colleague or something again kind of do their review, but the next step would be just changing this status over into active. Okay? So now when we do that, we go back and look at it from the end user perspective, they'll be able to see yet one more article as it pertains to this Plantronics. And you'll notice as well that I misspelled it. So theoretically, they wouldn't have seen that. Plantronics will save it that way. Okay, so now if we head back over to my end user portal, and we'll put in Plantronics, and just do it that way. Okay, so now I've got one more using this Plantronics for my desk, mobile, and PC. And we could add a little bit more so that it has some data there. But essentially, much like what we saw before, we've got that nested YouTube video, and that's essentially how they could, or how your technicians, how your staff could quickly create the knowledge articles and expose those so your end users can see them almost immediately. Okay, we'll go ahead and say, yep, that one, oh, I've got it locked over here. Let me close it right quick. So let's close this, and then they can say that, yes, this was helpful. So the other thing becomes looking at some of the metrics. And with that, we're going to look at this service analytics. So I'll bring this up. And again, it's really all the reports that you may have configured, customized, etc. for a given aspect. I'm going to go into custom. And here I've done just a few for my knowledge base articles, but let's do one more, and we'll say these are the unpopular knowledge base articles. If we go ahead and take a look, though, let's see what the ones that are popular. I'll just hit this. It's going to show you quickly kind of the contents of building up one of these reports, or it'll show you the output. And again, we'll walk through so you can see how easy it is to create one. But here at the bottom is where I have basically that table that's showing me those popular knowledge base articles. So here I can see one person said, yes, this was helpful. Two people have said this one was helpful. And then one person saying this one is helpful. And again, this link is interactive, so I can click and see, well, what's this one that everyone's calling popular? Okay. Now, if we decide we want to create one with, again, respect to the unpopular knowledge base articles, ones that people aren't rating or whatever the case may be, here what we'll do is just a new custom report. I'm going to click off of that too quick. And then again, it's just walking through basically, it's wizard-like in form because you just kind of give it some data points here. So custom report, we're looking at my knowledge base articles, but you'll see how exhaustive this reporting is. Basically anything inside of the CMDB, my portfolio, etc. But again, we're going to do my knowledge base article. This will be my unpopular knowledge base articles. We'll just do a quick copy and put that for the description as well. We're going to say it's shared. And then here, you'll notice as well, if I don't have a search already created, I need to create one, but we did one on the front end, so we'll call this unpopular knowledge base articles. Now it's asking me what fields do you want to display in the report? Well, give me the answer, the category. So that color was something that someone asked about earlier, so there is a way for me to do that color coding. Who created it? When did they create it? I don't care about the icon name. Give me the article. Yep, you can show me that. What was their question? Start date. Updated by. So those are the things that we want to look at. And I'm just going to say apply the changes. Those are the fields that we want to appear on the report. And if later we decide, well, I don't really care about the updated by section, there's just simple unchecks. And so here I can see basically what's happening in that report. And I'm looking at this field and I'm like, I don't really want that answer field. It's just an uncheck. And apply the changes, and then that will be gone. And then you may have noticed as well, we'll kind of wait for that to tune, we'll get a refresh. You had the ability to look at that in a PDF form. So here, how do you want to do your exports? Because again, here we're just looking at it right on the form. Now these, one of my criteria in the search that I created was that the popularity was null. So it may be that we decide, well, we don't need this field either. So then we could just, again, take that off by doing that uncheck.